Quickly go to Abuja and ask Dr. Doyin Okupe, what is the position of government on this? Let's go to Abuja and ask Dr. Okupe. Dr. Okupe, what is the position of the federal government on the issue of this constitution review and possibly completely overhauling our constitution?
Well, thank you very much. I was beginning to wonder whether I was a spectator in this program or not. But the truth of the matter is that it is difficult for me to sit down here now today and tell you that this is the position of government. I was appointed just about 2 or 3 days ago, and I have not sat down with my principal to discuss these issues in details. But that notwithstanding, there are 2 things I would like to make a comment on personally here. The first one is the issue of the state police, and the second one is the issue of the Sovereign National Conference. And I will crave your indulgence to kindly allow me to make these 2 points. I will be as brief as possible. Number 1, it is of course very desirable to have state police. Because the issue of security is easier managed by locals, and it is by far easier for somebody who knows the nooks and crannies of places, we know families and all that, to police a place than a total stranger. The idea of having different people from different states policing different areas is a colonial idea that we inherited. But having said that, Nigerians are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. The truth of the matter is that there is still a lot of arbitrariness in the deployment of power and forces in Nigeria. What happened in Ogun State last weekend is a political disaster of a status that is almost unimaginable. There was supposed to be we saw an election that took place organized by the federal government in Edo State, where the president said every vote will count, and that did happen to the applause and approval of everybody. Now you had this in the following 1 week, you had another election in Ogun State where even members of the police force, were snatching ballot boxes. Up till today, we do not know who in the country ordered for the mobilization of the military to take part in the elections, local government elections in Ogun State. There were people who appeared in military uniforms, and they were all over the local government, and they were doing all sorts of things. My uncle, Chief Odogoa, in Shagamu, was sat down on the floor, a 75-year-old man, by 5 policemen with gun pointed to his head that if you move, we will shoot you. So you begin, these are the issues that need to be carefully balanced. We still cannot vouch for the integrity of those who, yes, you say that the governors are the chief security officers of their state. We ought to actually truly give them the power to control that security. But every time we see that it is difficult for them to know the limits of this power. If ever we're going to have state police, we must also have, alongside with it, we must also have federal police who it will be clearly written in the Constitution that have power over and above the state police, and they can intervene at any time. And the abuse of power by any state police, the head of that state police, not the governor, will be held very seriously accountable. So these are these are the issues that I think we need to resolve. It is desirable to have state police, but there are, yes sir, yes ma'am.
Your second point quickly, please.
I wanted to make is on the Sovereign National Conference. The Sovereign National Conference issue, antedates the new civilian eras that we have. The Sovereign National clamor for Sovereign National Conference actually started in the military, and it was quite right. But you see, in 1999, when the military gave us a constitution, those who wanted Sovereign National Conference and the majority of Nigerians ought to have rejected it there and then. But guess what? Everybody wanted to be governor, everybody wanted to be senator, everybody wanted to be president, so they left it. Now we have operated this constitution for about 12, 13 years. We have had presidents, we have had governors, we have had senators, people have enjoyed public offices. You know, those who are now still talking about sovereign national conference are talking behind schedule. You know, you cannot have two sovereignty existing in the same, the senator is right. You cannot have two sovereignty existing in the same country at the same time. What we ought to really do, sirs, is that let the state go. It's a federalism. Let the states, organize their own conferences through their state assemblies and mobilize mass of people to take part. Then somebody collates it. We now bring that to Abuja, to the National Assembly, and then we begin to discuss.
Dr. Okupe, what you're saying,
Dr. Okupe, what people actually want. The idea of asking for sovereign national conference now is a political illegality. You must dismantle this constitution,
so,
and I don't know how you want to do that. You must dismantle it, throw it away, and send all the senators away, send all the governors away before you can have a sovereign national conference.
Dr. Okupe, so what you're saying in essence is that we should focus more on what the Senate they're trying to do rather than look at the review is the thing we should look at.
What he has proposed is beautiful. We first of all, you notice one thing. I have said,
more than that, I also do not agree that the review of the Constitution must begin and end in Abuja. No, power must devolve right from the people. The tailor, the mechanic in my village has a right to have a voice in the making of the Constitution of his country. It is a document that will survive for all time and for all generations. And that, so that's why I'm saying that let us not dismantle our democracy. Let us, Nigerians like to eat their cakes and have it. Let us obey the law. We have these constitutions. We have produced 3 presidents with this constitution. We have produced myriads of governors. We can no longer just say that it's an illegality. People are being paid salaries, from this constitution. People are enjoying, offices from this same constitution. So what we need to do, what we need to do is this: let the state governments.
I'm gonna have to.
Sorry, sir. One second.
So
let the state governments, through their state assemblies, organize, conferences in their states and prepare a compendium, which they will now give to the members of National Assembly to bring to the center, and this is what we will negotiate at the center.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okupe. I've got to stop you there so that I can get the opinion. Sorry,
we have not heard from Mr. Bala.
That's right. Let's hear your position.
You see, for me as a Nigerian, I will want to be led based on freedom of peace and justice. I will want to enjoy freedom of information, freedom of religion, and economic freedom that is devoid of any form of anarchy. And anything that has to do with insecurity needs to be taken seriously. Because if you are insecure, that means you lack the necessary safeguards and you are thrown into a risk. And a risk is the chances of threats, which could be extremism, militancy, or banditry, taking advantages of your vulnerabilities to cause you harm. There could be religious harm, there could be political harm, there could be harms of any nature. So whatever form people think, dialogue is always necessary because it will help in synchronizing different ideologies. It will help in synchronizing different views and help us to sing one anthem called peace, love, and to make sure we are led based on basic principle of civil and divine activities.